in today's video, since it is almost October, I figured that I would show you some of the books that are on my radar for the spooky season slash like the cool cozy season. I don't know. So first off, I'm going to start with standalones and then I'm going to move into series. I don't know much about any of these, so I am just going to give you what I know about them and obviously the title and everything. So let's get into it. The first book that I have on my radar is The Whispering Dark by Kelly Andrew. One of my friends, Toby, just read this and recommended it, so I am very excited. I tried reading this years and years ago and I just couldn't get into it, but maybe since it's like closer to spooky season, I will start getting into it. The only thing I know about this one is that the female main character is deaf and has to go to some sort of boarding school or something, I think. So, and I just love the cover. I love the bright purple on the the black background. I just think that's amazing. And that the flower petals have little skulls in them. I think that also adds to the spooky, cool cover. Next is Truly Madly Deadly by Hannah Jane. This is about I think high school athlete, and he ends up dead. And then the female main character finds a note in her locker saying, "You're welcome," or something, and so she has to figure out who the heck killed him and who knew that he wasn't a good person. Yeah. So that one sounds really intriguing. The next one is Pen Pal by J.T. Gessinger? I don't know. I normally don't like men on the cover, but this dude is half naked and has tattoos, so I'm okay with it. And also I got the special edition, I guess, or whatever, with the sprayed edges, and I just think that it is so cute how they put "I'll wait forever if I have to" on it. And it's about this guy who I think is just out of prison or is getting out of prison and sends the female main character a letter saying basically, "I'll wait forever if I have to." He thinks that they were in a relationship or that he knows her. She doesn't know him, is unaware of what his intentions and everything are. And it just sounds really cool. It gives Haunting Adeline vibes, but I could be wrong because obviously I haven't read it. And I think I DNF'd Haunting Adeline. I don't know. But I'm very excited. Hopefully I get to this one. Like all of these, it's a long list, but obviously the ones that I don't get to, I will put forth for next year. So, next one is Dead Love by Audrey Rush. This is a dark stalker romance. That's all I know about it. I got it at a book conference last year. The next one is The Unfortunate Side Effects of Heartbreak and Magic by Brianna Randall. The little blurb on the back says, "For fans of practical magic and Gilmore Girls, The Unfortunate Side Effects of Heartbreak and Magic is a charming debut novel that explores the shields we build around our hearts to retain our own magic." I mainly only got this book because it mentioned Gilmore Girls in it. Sorry, not sorry. I'm excited. Next is more on the spooky side. Well, I guess most of those are on the spooky side. But it's Murder in the Family by Cara Hunter. This is a murder in the family. It's like a whodunit mystery, but it's told in, I think it's called multimedia. I could be wrong, but there are like little, what are they called? Like interviews with obviously some of the characters, and I think you're trying to have to piece together like who did it and why and stuff. But then there's like text messages. There's also, oh, and this is broken up into episodes. So every few, like, I don't know, pages, it'll have like an episode. So there's 8 episodes in this. So 8 little like page breaks. And I could not be more excited to read this. I do think I'm going to read this physically and audibly. Nope. Physically and audibly. I don't know. I'm going to listen to it and follow along because I think I'm going to retain the information better and help solve the murder. So I'm excited. The next book I tried to read and got really confused. I've heard mixed reviews about this, saying that some people are very confused about, very confused about how this is written, and then other people love it, so I'm like, I don't know. But that is The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stuart Turton. Evelyn Hardcastle obviously dies, but I think the point of views you're following are people from the dinner or something that they all go to, and you jump back and forth between the points of view, so you're having to try and figure out, okay, well, what did this person see, and how did that involve with the death, obviously. But, yeah. Oh! Nope, I was wrong. So, there's a time loop, and she dies every single day until the male main character can identify the killer. And every time he wakes up, like Groundhog's Day, but not, he wakes up in a different guest's body. And he has to kind of figure out, well, who am I? What did I have to do with it? And obviously, who killed Evelyn? Next is another one that I'm very excited for, and I want to read and listen to. That is True Crime Story by Joseph Knox. This is again another murder type story with multimedia in it. And the other cool thing is it is based on a true story. Obviously, true crime story. That's all I know about it, and I'm excited. The next one I know nothing about, and that is Daisy Darker by Alice Feeney. I have the Book of the Month edition. The next one I have The Project by Courtney Summers. The only thing I know about this book and why I picked it up is that it involves a cult. And I'm very intrigued about cults. So, hence, I picked it up. I think it is about 2 sisters. One sister goes into the cult, and the other sister has to kind of help break her out and de-brainwash her or whatever. So, excited. The next one is The Nature of Witches by Rachel Griffin. I don't know anything else about it. I will pick up and buy almost any book that has witches in it, because I like the whole like magic system and magical realism and stuff that take place. Speaking of magical realism, the next book is The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston or Poston. This is about a girl who I think inherits her grandmother's or some relative's house, and she goes and starts living in it. And she goes there one day and she finds this man living in her house. But he is like 7 years in the past of where she is, but then she's 7 years in the future from where he is. And I think they have a relationship. I don't know. Magical realism. I saw one of my good, or not one of my good friends, I wish, but one of my favorite YouTubers, I think 2 of them read this and they rated it a high star count. So I'm very excited to read this. And it sounds like a perfect like fall autumnal like read. The next one is If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio. This one is about a murder, I think, that takes place. And in order for like the investigators to find out what happened and who did it, they have to explain it from like the beginning. And I think this is like a Shakespearean retelling of sorts. And I've never read a book quite like this, like a play retelling, so I'm excited. The next one is The Last Murder at the End of the World by Stuart Turton. Oh, he's the author that wrote The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. I didn't put that together until I read the stupid thing on the top. Someone is murdering people, I think one by one, and they have to find it, obviously, before the world ends. They have to save, whoever is left of the world. And that's all I know. That's all I really want to know, because I'm very excited to kind of see how this is portrayed. Next is Happy Medium by Sarah Adler. This, I think, is about a female main character who is a fake ghost whisperer of sorts, and she has to go to the male main character's farmhouse, ranch, something, to kind of get rid of the ghosts that live there, or she has to make him believe that the ghost is real. I don't know. I'm going to annotate this for my friend Emily. We are going to try and annotate books for each other for every major holiday. So obviously the one coming up is Halloween, hence Happy Medium. So I'm very excited to read it. And hopefully I get to it in like the beginning weeks of October. The next one, and I think the only standalone that the only standalone and the last standalone, is The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sangu Mandana. I read this month, so you will see a full review of it in my September wrap-up. But this girl the female main character has to hide her magic from everyone and stay away from really everyone. She can't make relationships, she can't make friends, anything like that, because they'll discover her secret, and then that can ruin the whole magic witches coven thing. So come to find out, she really wants someone to talk to about the magic that she's able to do. And so she starts this YouTube type video or videos showing fake magic. And these people at this house end up contacting her and saying, oh, hey, well, we have 2 magical twins here that kind of need help learning their powers and helping them from whoever's coming. And so she gets there, and everyone kind of has a different story of why they all came, which I think is really neat. It's more like a found family type story. And all of them came, obviously, to that house for different reasons all over the globe, but they all ended up becoming like this great big family. And she is now a part of it. And there is obviously romance in it with one of the male main characters that live in the house. And I just thought this was really neat. This was cute. Yeah. Okay, now that we are done with all of the standalones, I'm going to move on to the series that I have. Most of them, I only have like the first book. And I think I've only read one series out of the plethora that I have in front of me. So let's get into it. The first one I have is Morbidly Yours by Ivy Fairbanks. They fall in love, obviously. I think he is a vampire, or he's dead, a gravedigger. He's something. And yeah, they fall in love. I don't know what to tell you. But I do plan to buddy read this with Lauren in October at some point. So I'm very excited. The next series I have read, and I enjoyed it. Yeah. Again, my wrap up for the second book, since I read it this month, will be obviously in my next video. But the first book is Killing November by Adriana Mather. The second book is Hunting November. The first book takes place more in an academy, or like a boarding school, and our girl November, she has grown up very like a normal child. Come to find out, she goes to this academy because of some stuff that happens with her family. They don't tell her anything. The school doesn't really tell her anything. She's flying blind. And she gets into this school, and come to find out, her whole life is really weird. And she has different lineages and history and stuff that she has to work through and figure out. And yeah. I was very vague because I don't want to spoil anything for what happens in this series. But yes, so if you like dark academia, people trying to kill you, this series is for you. The next ones, I don't believe are like a series where they follow the same people. I think it's more like a standalone series. Like, they're series but in the same, they're different books but in the same universe. You don't have to read them in order. But I think the first book is called A Werewolf's Guide to Seducing a Vampire by Sarah Halley. And then the second one, or third one, I don't know, is A Demon's Guide to Wooing a Witch. One, I love these covers, and I'm very excited to see how a werewolf seduces a vampire and how a demon woos a witch. Because normally you're not supposed to do a romance, or you're not supposed to have a romance with other species. But yeah, there's a third one. I don't know what it's called. The next book is Long Live Evil by Sarah Reese Brennan. This book I picked up on a whim, and I'm so glad I did. This book, it follows Ray, who is our female main character, and she loves books. However, her whole life around her is falling apart. But she has books, so it makes it better. However, the book that she picks up, it lets her or traps her inside her favorite fictional world. However, it turns out she's the villain of the story. So I'm very excited to see what this has in store. The little blurb on the back says, "A tale for anyone who's ever fallen for the villain." I have so many times. I'm so excited. Next is Her Majesty's Royal Coven by Juno Dawson. I know nothing about this, but again, the word coven belongs to witches, so hence I picked it up. Next is Wolf Gone Wild by Juliet Cross. It has a male main character who is stuck as a werewolf and the female main character who I believe is a witch. And he comes to her for help. However, they're not supposed to like mingle and become friends. I think they end up falling in love and she obviously ends up turning him back into human. But yeah. I love the cover. And the whole series title is just so cute. It's called Stay a Spell. And I just think that is so cute. And all of the covers look like this with the whole like whimsical type drawings and stuff on it. And it's so exciting. Okay, the next one is A Dead and Stormy Night by Stephanie Holmes. I know this is a Why Choose romance. She is going blind? Maybe that's a different one. But she is doing something and yeah, okay. So she has to take a job at the local bookstore, but a hot fictional man owns the bookstore or runs the bookstore, and yeah, also turns out that his bird, which is up here, I think can talk. So that made me more intrigued to read it. I'm excited. The next one I think is another standalone series. But that is My Roommate is a Vampire by Jenna Levin. Obviously, the female main character's roommate is a vampire. The next book, or the next series, I guess, is Wandering Souls by Angela von Lempt. Lempt? I don't know. The only thing I know about this one is that the female main character can see dead people. That's it. Okay, the next one is called One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. The only thing I know about this one is that the female main character literally has a monster inside of her, and in order to like free her, they have to collect these cards. I don't know what the cards say or what the cards mean, but they have to collect like a few of them, and that'll set her free. The next duology, I do not have the third one because it is not out yet, but the first one is Butcher and Blackbird by Brianna Weaver. I am 100 pages into it. I have soft DNF'd it I don't remember when, but I need to get back to it and finish it really soon because I'm excited to read the trilogy. The next book in that trilogy is Leather and Lark by, again, Brianna Weaver. This follows the female main characters and the male main characters' best friends, and I can't wait. So I have to finish reading Butcher and Blackbird first. The next duology, I think it's only a duology. The first book is The Similars by Rebecca Hanover. The second book is The Pretenders. I think this is very similar, pun intended, to Killing November because I think it takes place at a boarding school. That's all I know. Next is called Magpie Murders by Anthony Horowitz. I don't know anything, but the bird caught my eye. And obviously I don't just pick up books and buy them because of the cover, mostly. I do read the back, but it's been so long ago since I bought most of these books that I'm like, I have no idea what they're about anymore. So, yeah. The next series, because I think this has 5 books that are going to be in it. First book is The Pumpkin Spice Cafe by Lori Gilmore. I read this one, gave this one 5 stars. And the second book is The Cinnamon Bun Bookstore. I have not read this one. I'm so excited to read this one. The first one follows the female main character who inherits the Pumpkin Spice Cafe and falls in love with, I think, the grocery man who delivers her groceries. And so that's exciting. Come to find out, someone does not want her to be successful and keeps sabotaging her cafe. So it's like a little mystery romance. This one, the female main character obviously owns the bookstore, and she finds, I think, little notes from the male main character inside books. And I just gotta say, that is so freaking cute, and I haven't even read it yet. So I'm excited. Next is another witchy duology. The first book is Hexed by Julia Tufts. She ends up putting a hex, I think, on her ex-boyfriend, not meaning to literally put it. She was angry and she just wanted to get stuff off her chest. And yeah, I think she was trying to cast another spell but ended up casting him, and she doesn't find that out until later when he returns to the town that they obviously live in. And so she has to obviously figure out how to undo that. The second book to that is Twice Hexed. I know nothing about this one, but they involve cats because both covers have a little cat. Where's that one? On the little cover. And they're pretty short, so I'm very excited to just fly through these. Next is Murder Your Employer by Rupert Holmes. This one is following another boarding school, I believe, but for assassins. And I think some of them end up obviously murdering their employer. Because ironically, it's I don't know. Yeah, it says here, but it's a quote from someone who read it. And it says, "How has no one thought of this before? Murders set at an imaginary academy set up to train murderers." I would have seen that coming. I would have been like, this is a bad idea. But I'm excited. The next book I picked up at a book conference I went to last year, and that is The Rooms We Hide by J.S. Mercier. I don't know anything about it, but I like the cover. The next book is Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. This is another like dark academia mystery type duet. I think it's a duet, if not a trilogy. The next book is Everlast by Neal Shusterman. The two main characters end up in a car crash and they don't survive. They're now in the in-between place between like death, I guess. And they find that things aren't what they seem and so have to, I guess, go on this adventure. The next one is River of Ashes by Alexandra Wise and Lucas Astor. The male main character, I think, is a psychopath. That's it. The next duet is another witch one, and that is The Ex-Hex by Erin Sterling. That is the first book, and then the second book is The Kiss Curse. That's it. Next, I started this and DNF'd it, but I don't remember why I DNF'd it. Because I thought it was really good when I was reading it, so I don't know. But that is The Luminaries by Susan Dennard. My friend Toby actually, I think, just finished it and recommends it. So I'm excited to read it. The next one is The Dead Guy Next Door by Lucy Score. That's it. Next is Spellbound After Midnight by Jenna Collette. And last, but certainly not least, is A Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness. Obviously witches, just had to get it. Yeah, that was it. Hopefully I plan to make a dent in this stack eventually after October or November. I don't know if I'll push the spooky reads until November, or if November, boom, I start hitting Christmas books. I haven't really decided that yet, so it's up in the air. Comment down below if you want to read any of these, what you thought of them, what you're reading for spooky fall season, and I will see you next time.